Hello and welcome back. Before we get to part 2, Real Talk, please allow us to fulfill our capitalistic duty and plug our Patreon, the Contrarian Supplements.
That's right. For a small fee, you too can help the Contrarians rage on.
We have tiers ranging from just $1 to $10. It all depends on how much content you can handle.
Starting at $1, it's the Travoltis tier, which gets you access to new bonus episodes focusing on a new movie every month, as well as access to the patron chat. Join other patrons in making fun of our opinions.
Moving up to $3 is the Winonis tier, which unlocks access to our pre-recording notes, our video reviews, and our spin-off show, Contrarians After Hours.
That's a more laid-back space where we talk about other things we've been watching, reading, playing, thinking about. Sometimes it's related to the movies being covered in the main feed, but it usually isn't.
If you want to be part of those patrons who help us shape the show by telling us which movies to tackle, that's when you sign up for the $5 tier, the Embries, and the $10, the Gads.
Finally, all supplement subscribers, regardless of the tier, get access to our archive of special patron projects. Head over to patreon.com/contrarianprime now to join.
Be sure to listen through the end of the episode to find out what's coming up to the Contrarian Supplements this month. Now, it's time for some Real Talk.
It takes two people to fly this thing. Either we all stay and die, or you guys draw straws.
I say we all stay and die.
But that's me.
I'll draw. Let's draw. Nobody's gonna draw straws. I'll stay and take care of it.
Well, I can't live with that sort of thing.
Nobody asked you if you could live with it, all right?
No way I will let you volunteer for this so I can go back to my home country like the man who didn't volunteer. No way.
Hey, man, let's draw, and let's see who's gonna stay up here and dance.
Guys, I know you guys think I'm crazy right now, but I would really like this responsibility.
All right.
I can do it.
Just draw straws and get it over with. Come on.
I ain't drawing against you, Harry.
Well, I'm gonna draw against you, chick, so you better just go ahead and do it.
All right, Julio, we are back. The 1999 MTV Movie Awards, hosted by Lisa Kudrow from the Barker Hangar in Santa Monica, California. Saw Armageddon up for several awards, but there was nothing really more notable about that particular event than the Will Smith performance of Wild Wild West. Do you know what I'm referring to? There was countless dancers. It was this really big production that Patton Oswalt, it was so big, in fact, and over the top, Patton Oswalt for a while had like a touring bit about it. I mean, Wild Wild West is obviously one of the more famous
Reviled movies.
Hated movies. It was one of those like Waterworld type movies too, that if you look at it, it doesn't look like it bombed, like because it made money, but it cost so much to make that it's one of those funny ones. Like if you look at it, you see that it made, it made like $250 million, but then it's like, yeah, it cost $200 million to make. So,
right.
But anyway, Armageddon, the reason for the season, as I like to say, the MTV Movie Awards. Armageddon was up for Best Movie, Best Male Performance, Best Female Performance, Best On-Screen Duo, of course, Best Song from a Movie, and Best Action Sequence. Which should it take home? Stay tuned. 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, Julio. A movie with a bit of a complicated legacy, to say the very least. I'm looking forward to getting right into it. So if we want to just lead off with the positive quotes you pulled, I'm fine with that.
Let's do it. Some critics actually disagreed with Roger Ebert and all the other rotten quotes. I'm going to start with Dana Duffield from Buffalo News, who said, a summer blockbuster in all senses of the term, from its action hero star to its wisecracking cheesy dialogue to all the stuff blowing up. The action is engagingly fast and furious, and the stars hold their own among the copious special effects. I mean, that describes a Marvel, Alex.
I heard it's nuts.
Yeah, that's what they were saying about Armageddon back then. Did you watch the new Bay?
Did you see the new Bay? I hear it's nuts.
Joe Holliman from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch says Bruce Willis and his gangs of Dolby-sounding, giant-screening, blowing-up real good heroes have put out the summer's best mindless action flick.
If that's your approach to it, then that's fine. Yeah.
If that's what you like, okay.
No, because I do love good mindless movies. I'm just saying, like, if that's what you want to say about it, because what were the other big action movies of 1998?
Saving Private Ryan. You know, that mindless war movie.
Hold on, man. Jesus Christ. Godzilla was 98, right?
Oh, is that why they have the bit with the dog and Godzilla at the beginning?
I would assume so. Yeah, the Roland Emmerich God, that movie was 2 hours and 20 minutes. That movie was as long as this shit. Good Lord.
They were competing. That's, man, can't believe I thought that it was a dig at Emmerich, but I didn't realize it was because Godzilla was out that same year.
Okay, Rush Hour came out that same year. That wasn't a summer release, though. So, previously discussed crime thriller. The Negotiator came out just a few weeks after Armageddon. Enemy of the State. That's another big one that wasn't a summer movie, though.
Anyway, Scott.
It is.
Captain Willard was in it. Willard? Is that? No, Hillard. Captain Hillard is in it.
Snake Eyes was a summer release coming at some point to Contrarian's Patron. And the previous Contrarian's entry also was an action film of 1998, that being Desperate Measures, starring Michael Keaton and Andy Garcia. And Small Soldiers. Okay, Small Soldiers came out the week after Armageddon. Wasn't that kind of a sleeper hit?
I've never seen it. Is that one with Fred Savage?
No.
Oh.
I don't know what you're thinking of. Small Soldiers is like The Toys That Come to Life. Phil Hartman voiced one of them, and I'm pretty sure it came out after he died. Well, he didn't die. He was murdered. Kirsten Dunst is in it. Jay Moore. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen it. I thought that there was a Fred Savage movie that I haven't seen that's kind of a cult hit.
Are you thinking of Little Monsters?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Fair enough.
Thank you for your knowledge.
And in closing here, let's see. Two more action movies from 1998 that have been covered, if not on Contrarians, at least adjacent Contrarians programs. We have Soldier, starring Kurt Russell.
Hey.
And Lost in Space, which we obviously have done, given the full treatment to on here. So,
speaking of Lisa Kudrow, because of the French Extravaganza.
Yes. 98 is a year I didn't realize how many pies we have fingers in. But yeah, mindless fun. Yeah.
All right. Mindless fun. We all agree there. Mike Davis from the Birmingham Post says, well, of course it's corny, cliche, macho, gung-ho, flag-waving nonsense. This isn't supposed to be art. What it's supposed to be is popcorn entertainment with butter. And that's exactly what it is. How can this movie not be art, Alex, when Bruce Willis has a very memorable speech where he talks about drilling being art? Therefore, a movie about drilling would also be art.
I've watched a lot of movies about drilling that are art, Julio. Just not starring any women or men that you're familiar with.
I was going to say, are there? One of my notes is like, how many drilling movies? How many movies about drilling?
That was a joke about me watching porn, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, my note was sincere.
Oh, okay.
I remember when The Big Lebowski came out, I read a book where they were like, yeah, this is one of those rare bowling noirs. A genre that is not,
that tale as old as time, the old bowling noir.
Yeah. So, the drilling action movie. Now I can't think of anything but porn, but you know what I mean? Are there any other movies where the protagonists are people that drill? I mean, well, okay, so there's movies about oil spills, but they're not, they're different. So I don't know. With butter, Alex, that's what it says. Supposed to be popcorn entertainment with butter. Moving on, we're going to close with Gene Siskel from the Chicago Tribune, who says, Roger, stop it. We're talking nonstop action and noise. That doesn't make it a bad movie. Rather, the audaciousness of the way it has been put together eventually becomes amusing. Is this a ballsy Michael Bay movie, Alex? Audacious?
No. I'm trying to think of like, even for 98, I'm like, no, this isn't like something revelatory.
Even in the way it celebrates its own dumbness. Like, this movie knows it's dumb, but it just looks you straight in the eye and says, so what? We can still have fun.
Bro, let me direct you to the last episode we recorded.
Exactly. Let's break apart why, in the eyes of Alex Mattis, Independence Day is a 5-star affair. And I don't know what your score is going to be for Armageddon, but you don't sound too hot on it, Alex.
Oh, dude, this movie sucks.
This is one order you shouldn't follow, and you fucking know it.
Well, first of all, Julio, before we get into our feelings, you said several times of the character Max in this, played by Ken Hudson Campbell, that he was on the Power Rangers. You may be mistaken, my friend. What's your reference point for that?
Isn't he one of the bullies in Power Rangers?
No, I know who you're thinking of, but no, he was that kid would have been younger.
Okay, where do I know this guy from? Because I know him from something else.
He plays the Santa in Home Alone that gives Macaulay Culkin the Tic Tacs.
Wouldn't be that.
Groundhog Day, he's in. Coyote Ugly, Ladies Man, Showtime.
All movies I've seen, so maybe. But every time I would be like, oh, that's the guy from Power Rangers.
Did he do a voice on dinosaurs? He did. My God. Seinfeld, Duckman, Real
he
Monsters.
He looks so respectable in his IMDb profile photo.
He was also, I don't remember him. I can't put his face to it, but he's in the Nora Ephron Bewitched that we are both very complimentary of.
I know I've seen him. He's a that guy.
Oh yeah, he's definitely that guy. I just, when you said, I know exactly who you're thinking of too. And they, to be fair, all white people look the same, but
there's the big bully kind of looks like this guy.
Yeah. There's the big bully and the kind of like scrawny.
I know where I know him from. Okay.
Here we go.
Herman's Head. Did you ever watch Herman's Head?
I did not.
Okay. It was actually, I don't know. I haven't seen it in forever, but when I was growing up, I thought that was a pretty funny show. He had William Ragsdale was Herman, and you would go inside his head, and there were 4 characters inside his head, his primary emotions. And so there was like, I don't know, so it was like Inside Out. It was kindness and shyness, and then the intellectual side of it. And then this dude, Ken Hudson Campbell, was lust. And so he was the funniest out of the 4 of them because he was always horny and he was always trying to get Herman to have sex with whoever. And so that's where I know him from. My apologies, Mr. Campbell. I know you were about to become a patron and then you listen to this episode and you're like, fuck these guys. But at least now, going through the filmography, I can think of him. And he looks pretty much exactly the way he looks here, minus the costume changes, but it's, so around that time, Herman's Head was 91. So, it was 90s. All right, mystery solved. So no Power Rangers. I'll go back and edit. I'll just record myself saying Herman's Head.
Herman's Head.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
All right, so we put it to rest. I think I'm being a bit performative with my dislike of it. There's long stretches of it that I found just boring. Look, first of all, I'm still going to err on the side of it used to be better when it comes to this movie.
How? Now I'm confused.
Oh, just big, stupid summer blockbuster movies with like crazy casts and shit.
Okay, I thought you were going to say like, all that shit is practical. I'm pretty sure he wasn't blowing up.
Oh, dude, there's some awful CG, primitive CG. It's better than I could do with my computer that I'm recording on right now. But it's when you compare it to. No. I'm not even going to compare it to things at the time. You compare it to 2 years earlier, or you compare it to 6 years earlier with T2. There's precedent for better CG. And even like the shit on the asteroid, like when they get into space, there's some cool looking stuff, but for the most part, it's all this extreme close up where you don't really know what's going on and it looks like shit. And the whole training sequences, a lot of that is just really like close. I could see the idea of being in the movie theater, right? And watching the screen and feeling immersed.
Yeah.
But watching it at home, and man, I can't imagine watching this movie on a fucking 4:3 VHS copy, which I did as a kid, but like watching it today, a remastered version of a widescreen, but there's parts of it that just look awful.
How do you watch it, by the way? Do you do YouTube?
YouTube TV. It's on there.
Yeah, you have YouTube TV, so you were spared the commercials that I had to suffer through while watching it on regular YouTube. So, Alex, you watched 2.5 hours. Mine was 3 hours.
Oh, brother. There was one commercial like 20 minutes into it where Jennifer Garner was yelling at me about getting a credit card or something. But
I would do it.
For her, please.
Yeah.
It has its fun, but man, it really gets. If we're going to just directly compare this to our previous episode,
it's inevitable.
At no point in Independence Day do I ever feel that movie loses sight of its absurdity. In this, specifically, the closing 15 to 20 minutes, and it worked, man. I've heard stories and I've read, live theater experiences of the people just crying when Bruce Willis, takes the bullet. And man, I loathe that whole sequence of when he hits the clicker and then it flashes to his visions of Liv Tyler as a girl. And then it does this thing where there are these shots of them both standing in like an empty room, just with a spotlight on them flashing back and forth. Like, what the fuck is this, dude?
It's Michael Bay trying to be art house.
Yes. Unfortunately, we would have to wait 15 years to get his real artistic performance. But for all I'm saying, my biggest complaint and the thing that really hurts this movie for me, it is at least an hour too long for the material that it has. And it's so funny because it's almost exactly the length of Independence Day. The Independence Day was 2.5 hours, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things we talk about, I know because I edited it today in Real Talk, we're like, didn't feel the runtime at all. In this, I was just like, okay, let's fucking get on with it. When they take off for space, it's like an hour and 15 minutes into the movie. I'm like, oh, fuck, we're going to spend the whole other half of this movie in space. And even to get there, the training montage is like a shoot, like I think 20 to 30 minutes. And it's like, okay, the concept is here, but we're really stretching the bounds. And we establish the purpose of the training montage within like a 5-minute sequence. The whole purpose of all the training shit in this movie is to establish Ben Affleck trusts his instincts instead of the computers and the scientists. And this will pay off later in the movie. So that's fine. But then we have these elongated sequences of Michael Clark Duncan showing his ass. And that guy was a physical specimen, so I'm not hating on him. But it's funny. You asked me this and you would think I would just go to the absurdity of it. But it's really just like the lack of material this movie has and stretches out over 150 minutes.
Hey, Juan, get down there.
Hey, hola.
Neho.
Hi, Harry! Oh, yeah. Hey, what are you smiling about?
Joaquin.
That was probably my main thought. I kept thinking, why couldn't we just start with them bringing the team in? You know what I mean? Like, even if you want to do the training, because I guess the training is part of what makes the movie special, right? Like, what makes the movie special is that you have to train these people that are not ready for the mission, that shouldn't be going to the mission. And so I'm willing to cut him some slack with the training. I think that the training should be a little more fun as it is, but all right, we have to do it. But like the entire introduction of those characters, with Bruce Willis finding out that Ben Affleck is sleeping with his daughter and the clients coming to visit the oil rig and all that stuff, it's like, you don't need it, because all this stuff that you're establishing also gets reestablished while they're training in NASA, right? The main thing you're establishing is that the relationship between Affleck, Liv Tyler, and Bruce Willis. And then all the other characters get like a little bit of like a something, right? Like Will Patton has this strange family, and Buscemi likes to spend money, and
yeah, Buscemi has like the only side plot that like works in the confines of the movie, because we just get some shots of it and establishes, oh, he's a fucking horn dog that just likes to spend his money frivolously. Cool. We don't know what Michael Clark Duncan does. He rides a motorcycle. We don't know what Owen Wilson does. He rides horses. And the other thing too is with the pacing issue is, dude, it's so obvious that we, the audience, see that Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck are a thing, right? And Bruce Willis doesn't figure it out until right before they go into space, right? He doesn't learn about it. Like, that's how he learns. She runs up and kisses him or something. Because it feels so fucking unwarranted and stupid at the end where he's like, you're like a son to me. Where in the first scene we see them interact, he's literally trying to kill him. Like, it's... you show them like working together, and he's his protege and all this shit, and we the audience learn that he's going behind his back with his daughter, and then and that makes that speech at the end more impactful.
Yeah.
I feel the need to call it at this point. This movie made $550 million off a
So what do we know?
Yes, exactly. Off a $140 million budget. This is a movie I watched. This was a Christmas 98 gift, if I remember correctly, the VHS of this for the family to watch. I never, ever was into this movie as a child like I was Independence Day. And you can go listen to that episode if you haven't to learn the tale of how much I watched that VHS. This is a movie also that when I upon like rewatching it each time, I was like, nope. And the last time we rewatched it, which would have been within the past 5 to 10 years, I think I was going through just Michael Bay's movies, honestly, because I have on here before, and I continue to defend his first Transformers. Obviously, Pain and Gain fans don't come much bigger than me. The Rock is awesome. Yeah. This is one that I've never been able to do that thing of like, no, it's good. The idea of it is awesome. Like the ragtag team that's going to get launched into space to save the Earth. Sure. Why the fuck not? Also, doing it just so close to Independence Day.
That's
a killer. Yeah.
Thought. But even if you're thinking about your childhood, right? Because you had seen Independence Day. So if Armageddon had been the one that you watched first, maybe it would have captured your imagination in a way that, Independence Day had already done. It wasn't that way with me, because I liked Independence Day, but I think established in our last episode, my appreciation for it has grown over the years. With Armageddon, I saw it in theaters, and I remember just thinking it was fine. I remember hearing the stories of people crying through it. I think I've seen it maybe once after that, and there was one time when I was editing, I had it playing in the background, and I was surprised that every time I looked up, they were still on Earth, like they hadn't left for the mission. So I kind of knew what I was getting into when I started it today. And even then, it surprised me that it's like an hour and 10 minutes or so before they launch. And a lot of that is just that buildup. It doesn't help it that we just did Independence Day, and that movie moves so much faster, almost the same length, but it never feels like it's stalling. It just goes from one thing to the other. And this one, you're right. I mean, we just move on to the next set piece, and then we just spin our wheels there, and everything takes so much longer. The scene beats just go on forever. They have all these conversations. I think that Bay and the screenwriters, 4 or 5 people that wrote this movie, they were really invested, or they were trying to make us invested on the Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler thing. And they really, less would have been more. Because I just remember they have that sequence after he's creeping on them, his watch, Ben Affleck kissing Liv Tyler's back. And then he's doing a walk and talk with Buscemi and some of the other guys. And it's kind of a long scene that ends with them saying, well, we raised her, we helped raise her, so we also have an attachment, or we have a say in how she grows up. But I don't know. It's just some bullshit scene. There's like, you don't need it, because these people feeling like parents to Liv Tyler doesn't play at all in the rest of the movie.
No.
So.
Okay, but Harry, all we're saying is we're talking about a kid who's coming into her own right now, and she's getting curious about her body, and she's exploring her sexuality. And you know what? Ask her.
But look, Independence Day also had like a whole bunch of characters, and it had like a lot of like mini subplots. So you could see how they, like, following that template, Armageddon could have done something similar. And in a way it tries to do it, right? Because you have all these drillers, and you could have just found a way of giving them little things, right? Everybody gets their little moment, like it happens in Independence Day, but that's not the case. I mean, when Max dies, the guy from Herman's Head, I mean, it doesn't mean anything, right? Like, what was that guy's deal? He was the big guy in the group, but that was it. He never, I think he was one of the ones that was kind of reluctant to go, but it doesn't mean anything. When Owen Wilson dies, it doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't like lead anywhere. The only people that really matter are Will Patton, Affleck, and Bruce Willis, right? In the mission. And then Fitchner, I guess, to a point. Actually, I forgot. Peter Stormare gets an arc of sorts. Right?
Oh yeah, redemption.
He gets redemption. He gets the machine to work. But still, you're talking about like a handful of characters. Like
Michael Clark Duncan makes it to the end, right?
Yeah. And what's the deal with Michael Clark Duncan? Why do I care? Because he's cool.
For me, he's Michael Clark Duncan, so I care. But yeah,
he's the kingpin. But that's it. So I think in this case, if you're not really going to have a whole lot going on for so many of those characters, then you need to either give them even less time and they just become faceless drillers that are part of Bruce Willis's team, or you just don't, you write them out and just make so it's a smaller team and all just so you can have a more manageable movie that flows a little better, because there's some good stuff too. I mean, and I do like the idea, even though as I was watching it today, I had it in my head like that the famous Ben Affleck commentary. I mean, it's a commentary for the movie, and Ben Affleck is in it, and we've talked about this, right? Yeah. And I was watching a video with him on YouTube the other day, one of those where he goes over his career, and he brings up the Armageddon commentary track. He calls it one of his biggest achievements, and I get it that it's almost like one of those things that now is just so common or so well known that it's not even a joke. It's just like a fact. It was like, why would they send these guys instead of training astronauts to do it? And I had forgotten that it's actually addressed in the movie. That was actually the original plan. And then Willis changes it. He tells them, nope, this is not going to work. I need my people. And I mean, I guess that's the movie explaining it. But I was thinking from a creative point of view, like if I'm writing the movie, why not do it the other way around? Why would I have my character, like the Bruce Willis character, say, no, I don't want to do it. I want to do it with my guys. Wouldn't it be better maybe a movie where you just bring Bruce Willis and he has to train a team of astronauts into how to be drillers? And is it just because it's not as funny? Because it's a lot funnier to bring like Steve Buscemi and the guy from Herman's Head and all these Ben Affleck, all these.
It's so much more fantastical that way,
But does it make it a better movie?
Well, I guess.
Like you can still have the same actors. You can have like Ben Affleck and Michael Clark Duncan and Owen Wilson, whoever, like playing astronauts.
Well, yeah, are you going for like comedy? Because there's way more room for comedy if the astronauts become drillers versus the drillers become astronauts.
I think you can have as much comedy in both. I mean, for all intents and purposes, really, the idea that they're drillers that become astronauts doesn't really play that much in the movie once they get past the training. So why did we bother? Right? Can you imagine? Instead, you start the movie.
Also, like Bill Pullman in Independence Day, as ludicrous as the idea is, he was a fighter pilot. So yeah, he can go up there and do that. These guys, they get 4 days of training to become astronauts. Like people literally work their entire lives for that shit. Like it's I'm splitting the fucking hairs of Independence Day for Christ's sake over here, defending its realism versus Armageddon. It's
but I can buy it. I mean, it's not that I was watching the movie. And
within the universe this movie exists, absolutely. But it's just when you think about it, yeah.
Well, I just think that it might be a more interesting idea if you do it the other way around, and also if the story moves a little faster, if you don't have to introduce all those characters that way, because it's a little clunky. Instead, what I was thinking is you open with Billy Bob Thornton having this crisis, and he's talking to his people, and he's like, "All right, well, this will be our team, but we need a driller." So then they bring Bruce Willis, and that's how you meet Bruce Willis when he arrives in NASA, meets with Billy Bob Thornton. He can still have Liv Tyler there. Maybe Liv Tyler meets Ben Affleck, astronaut Ben Affleck there, and they spark, they have some chemistry. They're not going to get married at the end of this movie, but, there's still like a connection to where she feels concerned when he flies away with that. But then you just have Willis saying, all right, well, I'm going to have to train these guys. And they have to train him on how to to be an astronaut. And then you just set that up. But, you just cut like 30 minutes of movie because you don't have all the bullshit drillers. And it's just like Bruce Willis and the astronauts and Liv Tyler. And then the rest of the movie kind of plays where I think that you could have more. You could just make more out of the fact that these astronauts have to follow the lead of a guy that's not an astronaut. And, it plays very little in the movie that we ended up getting. That the fact that,
aside from like random sequences of bickering.
Yeah, it was just, but that's just their personality. It's not necessarily, so it's not so much as they're drillers, it's just that they're not astronauts. But I don't know. I guess that kind of stuff just gets repetitive. It's not like as funny or as fresh as you would think when they first pitch you the idea. I don't know. It's so long. And I know I was watching it with commercials, but it was dragging. And every time that they would start like going on for too long, I was thinking, why aren't we out of this scene already? Even the good ones go on for too long. Like that. How do you feel about the animal crackers scene now that we're in real
awful.
talk? But is it awful in an endearing way, or do you just hate it and you couldn't wait for it to be done?
No, the first one. In an endearing way. Like the writing of it is so bad that the fact that like I still that is the fucking I love you man scene where I just go stupid.
Yes. I was honestly expecting it to be so much worse because I really didn't remember much other than it being in the music video and then people talking about it a lot. And then it was playing and I'm like, this is not awful. I mean, it's bad. It's cringe, but it's also got like a San Andreas Quarter. They were clearly trying to do something memorable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It
and it poses like the question, are you a butts or a hoots guy is basically what it's asking because he doesn't know whether to go north or south. So,
asking the important questions, Michael Bay.
Yeah, exactly. Right before, you got to go save the earth. Yeah. It's one of those that, I don't know why I'm immediately thinking of the chocolate bar scene in fucking Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. But like, it's one of those that comes to mind of it's memorable and it's bad qualities, but it's not like one of those things that I hate and I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Do you think it's possible that anyone else in the world is doing this very same thing at this very same moment?
I hope so. Otherwise, what the hell are we trying to save?
But see, that's one of the scenes I brought it up because I think it's one of the scenes that
I wasn't lying, by the way, in Contrarian's Corner. It's one of the best shot scenes in the movie.
Yeah. I think that Bay, I mean, he knows how to shoot stuff. Then whether he decides to shoot it well or not is just a different thing. But there are moments here where the movie, especially when they're like the calm scenes, I love the way that he shoots the stuff with the president is talking. I don't know that it works in the movie the way it's shoot because I think it highlights how silly the movie is. But those shots of people just kind of in slow motion reacting to the news or listening to the president, they have a beauty to them that stands outside of the movie. It makes you wish that the movie was on that same level all throughout. But the animal cracker scene, I was going to say, it's one of those where I feel like he gets the closest to having it be the perfect length. It doesn't go on for as long as I was afraid it would, even though it feels like maybe it could have been trimmed a little bit. But there's stuff that just goes on, much, much longer. Like they go and they get arrested under, Bruce Willis says, my guys need a day off. And then they go to a strip club and then Buscemi, gets in a fight with somebody. They end up getting arrested. Like all the stuff goes on forever and it doesn't amount to anything. And that's kind of how I feel about so much of the movie. Stuff that goes on for too long and we didn't really need it. Like, why did it matter that they got arrested? Like, I thought that, they're getting arrested, so there's got to be an issue. Maybe one of them just can't go on the mission because he's in prison or got hurt. But no, it's just filler. So that really hurts the movie.
Complete sidebar. Just speaking of Michael Bay, as we record this on July 3rd, 18 years ago today, the first Transformers came out. Can you believe that? 18 years ago.
My God. I screened that movie.
I was working at the theater and I had the day off, and I think I've told you this story. I went and did a double feature of that and License to Wed, starring John Krasinski and Mandy Moore. Transformers rules. The first one. I can't tell you if I've seen any of the other ones. Anyway, look, I'm not going to sit here and be fucking analytical to the degree of other movies we've covered about Armageddon, but I can tell you, if you ask me my opinion on the movie, it's at its core, it is a celebration of the ideas of the big movie. And, you know, you get the big star, Bruce Willis, obviously, which I want to talk about here in just a second. But the really crazy concept and the event movie and all these things that are great and that we've lost, and the big song for the movie and the music video that comes along with it, and all these ideas that, like I just said, we've lost and that have gone, and the industry is so much worse for it. It makes me sad. Even, look, I talk about 2 years ago, Barbenheimer. That's when it felt like the magic was back, when we had Barbie and Oppenheimer. But we need to stress, neither of those movies, one of them was, yes, about the intellectual property known as Barbie, but it was about the glaring flaws of gender, race, sexuality, the gaps in our society. And then Oppenheimer was about it was a 3-hour R-rated movie about a physicist. Like, you know, it's not like we had these movies that everyone felt that they had to go out and see because Bruce Willis was going to save the planet. And I know
Cillian Murphy is going to doom the planet.
Exactly. Irreparably damage the planet forever. And I know that you could make the argument, or people listening to this would immediately go to, you know, the latest Marvel, which I heard is nuts, but that it's just a different thing altogether. And because
it is a different thing, but I think it's kind of what it's become. If you're talking about like the event movie, I mean, that's what they are right now, right? Like if it's not, yeah, you get Barbie, you know, Barbenheimer was like a very special thing, but on a summer basis, you know, summer to summer,
yeah,
for the time being, it's just the superhero movies,
yeah,
which, yeah, they're not the same, but it's kind of on the same trajectory. It's a shame that Weezer didn't make a music video for Oppenheimer, by the way, because that would have really completed the throwback feeling of like, oh, this is just like when it was good. That doesn't happen though.
Yeah, what I want to say is, yes, this movie encapsulates all that. But if you ask me genuinely how I feel about it, I'm like, well, it's too long. There's parts of it that don't make sense. There's these characters that exist for absolutely no reason. There are characters that are just archetypes of characters. Like Liv Tyler, especially at this point in time, my God, go back 10 years ago to our Empire Records episode. Liv Tyler falls in that category of people don't look like that. So honestly, all she really has to do is just stand there. We talked about her in fucking our That Thing You Do episode also, because she has, acting wise, one of the best moments in that entire movie.
Yeah.
And she's obviously someone who had the talent and ability. But here, she exists to be Bruce Willis's daughter / Ben Affleck's girlfriend and react accordingly.
I'll go further, Alex. I don't think she's doing well in this movie. She has I mean, I
didn't say she was doing well. I'm just saying what she's there to do.
Well, but then she doesn't do it that well.
That's fine with me. I'm not gonna get the shotgun and chase you through the oil rig on that one, brother.
Well, because I've seen her be so good in other movies, and here it just, maybe she knows that this is not good, so she doesn't know how to play, you know, on her register. How do I do this in that movie that's this weird tone? Her entire, when she's yelling at Bruce Willis, and that entire first sequence, it's just bad. And it sucks when you're like, oh, I've seen her be so great in other things. So everybody else kind of like hits better notes. With her character, I mean, it just doesn't work. She doesn't even get a dad at the end. So
Daddy, no.
Not quite the same.
Gotta go now, honey.
Daddy, no.
But still, Alex, let's
talk about Bruce.
Before we go to Bruce, I want to close on the Independence Day comparison, because so many of the things that this movie seems to be wanting to do are things that Independence Day did without trying as hard. Or, you know, that's what it feels like. With Armageddon, I was watching, I was like, they're trying so hard. And I know I've used this word before to describe some stuff, but it's like overproduced, and it's not like Independence Day is like an indie film that, you know, but they but you know, I mean, even from the casting,
A24 presents.
exactly. This one feels like Michael Bay set out to make another Independence Day, so to speak. And Independence Day felt like they were like, all right, we're gonna have fun. And then along the way, if you listen to the episode, we had a disagreement on when exactly when they realized, okay, this is gonna be like the biggest thing ever. But even so, it feels like I want to call Independence Day modest and Armageddon not, even though they're both blockbusters and they obviously had a huge budget. But still, there's something when you cast your movie with Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith, where they were in their careers at that time, and Bill Pullman as your trio that's leading that movie, versus a movie that has Academy Award winner Billy Bob Thornton, Bruce Willis, Academy Award winner Ben Affleck, and Liv Tyler. It just feels like this one was so much bigger. It took itself more seriously, even though the movie itself is not that serious. And I think that contributes to it feeling a little clunkier too. There's just something so effortless about Independence Day when you watch it today, and this one it doesn't. It feels like a Michael Bay movie when a Michael Bay movie doesn't work, which makes me wonder what would they look like if you swap directors. You got Bay to direct Independence Day and Emmerich to direct Armageddon.
I don't want to know, man.
I think they both end up being worse movies.
So before we move on to Bruce, what you've helped me formulate in my head here, as ludicrous and over the top as Independence Day is, it feels like every character in that movie was thought about at one time. You know, we even had our discussion about the First Lady.
Yes.
She exists pretty much to die, but she still has a few scenes in there that establish her importance and why it's sad that she dies. In this movie, it just seemed like, okay, we have these 4 or 5 main characters, and then, oh yeah, then we'll have a cowboy and this big black dude that rides a motorcycle, and then this other guy that just appears for no reason, and then no one ever sees him again in the movie or in the acting world.
Yes.
But so yeah, I agree. There's a lot of like half ideas in this that come together to make a mishmash, which is, you know, something Michael Bay specialized in, but it just doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah. And I wanted to make sure that we touched on that, because especially just so close to Independence Day episode, I could see somebody listening to us rave about Independence Day and then listening to us being pretty disenchanted with Bay's work in Armageddon and be like, were you guys crazy about a movie that's very similar? And that's why I really want to say, if you haven't watched them, rewatch them back to back if possible. And, you know, you might be surprised because the differences are striking as far as, you know, that something that will help you articulate why one works and why the other one doesn't.
And as we move into Bruce here, one of the biggest sticking points that I'll go to is me being borderline blown away by that scene in Independence Day where Goldblum and Smith think they're about to die, and they are trying to hold up their male moxie around each other, but they're both on the brink of tears of being like, holy shit, this is actually good. Versus today, watching Armageddon for the first time in X amount of years, and when Bruce shoves fucking Batman in the air shaft and sends him back up, being like, just kind of laughing at it. Like, I was talking about it in Contrarian's Corner. For a movie that spends so much time on superfluous bullshit and just drags out like the training montages and flying and all this, the most pivotal moment in the movie, they literally pack into about 90 seconds. They draw straws and then they go, and then Bruce takes it, and that's it. That is, again, movie made $550 million. What do I know? But that's so simple. You rush all the other shit because you have to drag out, like, what are we going to do? Well, I guess we'll draw straws. And then the way the movie presents it is that fucking William Fichtner just had 6 straws on him, and he lucked out, and he was like, here we go. Take one.
This happens all the time. He opens the envelope. This is like
the secondary protocol envelope was the straws. That's what was in it. Oh, fuck. I was genuine. I really love the line of Will Patton. What are you doing with a gun in space? I thought that was good. But anyway,
Will Patton's great. We'll touch on Will Patton once we're done with Bruce.
Yeah. So the one moment in this movie, or the one sequence that should have been given the most room to breathe for some reason, is just fucking. All right. I guess that's the point. It's the one that would have evoked the most genuine emotions. So Michael Bay's like, fuck this. Let's move along. We got to get to the next scene. Bruce Willis, it obviously can't be understated how much of a bummer it is to be aware and understanding of his current situation. That's just fucking sad, man. And it does make everything I watch with him now, despite the quality of the film, it brings along a sense of sorrow with it, truthfully. I don't know the guy, but that's like one of the cruelest things that can happen to a person, for someone who is known for their ability to emote and speak, for that to be like taken away from him. That's tragic. It is. So I feel like every time I watch him now, I appreciate it a little more. You know, what Warren Zevon said, you learn to enjoy every sandwich a little bit more. And Bruce in this, and I'm not just saying this because of what I prefaced it with, he seems to be one of the only people that kind of understands the assignment in terms of how
I guess he does.
Yeah, because even
like, just be Bruce Willis. I was like, oh,
yeah, exactly. It's like, be John McClane, but you're an oil driller. Okay. Like, that's essentially what he does here. And he does all the Bruce shit, and he has several moments of the Bruce, the side eye. You know, those, yeah. That's a classic Bruce thing where he realizes something and then looks to the side. It's funny just because him and Billy Bob Thornton are like acting in completely different movies, and they're like, you know, one's in space and one's on Earth. And
okay, so Thornton's not good, right?
He's trying really hard, which I respect.
I was confused because I was watching it, and in my memory, he was one of the best performances in the movie. And then I was watching it today, and I'm like, what's happening? This is not working.
Okay. Come on, guys. We got to come up with something realistic here. We got 18 days.
He just feels very ill at ease playing that type of character. Or maybe I am just not. I am ill at ease watching him play a NASA dude, apparently. I need him to be a lot like slimier, because that's just the kind of character that he plays in most movies.
Yeah, and it just, especially like living in the world we do now with all the things we've seen Billy Bob do, it just seems so unnatural that his performance here. But he's really going for it, so I guess that's admirable.
Well, my MVP is Will Patton. And I already said it.
God bless him.
He gets very little screen time comparatively, you know, to the big stars, the people that got like the top billing. But he is the one. I don't know if I would call it understood the assignment. I just think that he's the only one that I truly believe is a flesh and blood person that's part of this story. Like, even Bruce Willis, when I watch him, he's just playing Bruce Willis. And that's fine. It works for this type of movie. That's the type of movie that it is and what it required of him. But Will Patton, maybe because he doesn't have a persona, right? Like, it's not the Will Patton. Oh, he's just playing Will Patton. Instead, he's playing a dude that every single line that came out of his mouth, I completely believed. Every reaction. And I was surprised even when he got to do some of the funny stuff because he didn't feel out of character. And then when he got to the end and his kid ran up to him and hugged him, I was like, fuck yeah. That I find a lot more satisfying than anything that's happening with Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck, or Bruce Willis.
He's so human, like his reaction to everything.
Yeah.
He's so movie human, because he'll hit like his eyes and stuff, like they're a bit over the top, but you can feel like his emotions are like borderline real. Yeah, he's great. I love the shot of him in slow motion throwing the dice at the craps table, and his demand is, I can't remember the level of VIP
the Caesar
it is.
Palace?
Yeah, he demanded like a certain level of treatment for a week at Caesar's Palace. That's great.
What are you doing with a gun in space?
I don't know that I have anything to say about Affleck.
He's Ben Affleck. He is definitely the guy that was in Reindeer Games 2 years later.
Yeah. Would you say he's trying as hard as Billy Bob Thornton?
He definitely sees this as an opportunity and is going for it.
I mean, he gets to cry 3 separate occasions, I think.
Oh, yeah. He's crying this whole movie, man. He's either crying or he's doing like okay, so if we take out the animal cracker scene, he's either crying or doing the thing where he's backing up going, whoa, whoa.
He's either Owen Wilson or Terrence Howard. Those are his two extremes. Yeah, he just looks really young, and I mean, I don't know. I just see him, and my main thing is like, oh, it's young Ben Affleck. Now he's like a statesman of film, right? Because he's still an actor, but he's also a director, and so whenever he speaks, I think that he's always been probably smart about like filmmaking. Now, because he has the beard and the gray hair, and he's made some really good movies, I don't know. I just feel like everything he does and says carries a lot more weight. And so to go back to a time where he was just like this skinny dude that was still finding his way in Hollywood, that's very amusing on a very meta sense. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's just that, well, watching it now, it adds a little bit of fun to it. I wish I could remember what it was like watching him play this character when he was not Ben Affleck. It was just like, oh, the guy that wrote Good Will Hunting, that was, I don't know if this made him a star. I don't remember, like in my eyes. I'm sure as far as Hollywood agents, I mean, because this made a lot of money, then sure. But I mean, I was looking at those MTV nominations. He's the one that gets the best male performance, not Bruce Willis.
Yeah. Perfect segue there from my podcasting partner. So Ben Affleck was indeed nominated for Best Male Performance. He was nominated here we go. Classic MTV Movie Awards. He was nominated alongside Will Smith for Enemy of the State. Real ones like myself will always have a hard time not saying Enema of the State, because 99 was, of course, the year the Blink-182 album came out that changed my and a whole lot of people's lives. So Will Smith for Enemy of the State, Adam Sandler for The Waterboy, Tom Hanks for Saving Private Ryan, Ben Affleck for Armageddon, and then Jim Carrey for The Truman Show. That, of course, being the year that Jim Carrey won, where he had the big beard and the long hair. Do you know what I'm referring to?
No.
Oh, baby. Liv Tyler, nominated for Best Female Performance. She was nominated alongside Jennifer Lopez for Out of Sight, Jennifer Love Hewitt for Can't Hardly Wait. We've done that movie, right?
Yes. She's
Great.
not good in it.
She's not, but it's a great movie. I mean, she serves a purpose in being hot and rejecting, but then accepting Ethan Embry. So, Gwyneth Paltrow for Shakespeare in Love, and Cameron Diaz for There's Something About Mary, which you want to talk about a sensation, brother.
Yeah. I would have given it to Jennifer Lopez. Who won? Cameron Diaz?
Cameron Diaz, yes, sir.
Out of Sight is great. So,
Best on-screen duo. Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler were nominated alongside Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan for City of Angels, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel Lee Cook for She's All That, Ben Stiller and Cameron Diaz for There's Something About Mary, all of which lost out to Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker for Rush Hour.
I mean, I guess it was a sensation.
Chris Tucker has not worked much since then. That's the extent of what I'll say.
By choice.
Voluntarily, yes. Let me clarify that. So much so that when I ran into him at a bar at the Vegas airport, I had to ask, so what was the deal with Silver Linings Playbook? Best action sequence, Armageddon took home the bucket of golden popcorn for Asteroid Destroys New York City. Also nominated for the award was Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. Car chase on freeway and through building in Lethal Weapon 4. Car chase in France with De Niro pursuing Natasha Micheleon in Ronin. And Tom Hanks and company land on Normandy Beach. And Jesus Christ. Oh, used to be better. In the best movie category, Armageddon was nominated alongside Saving Private Ryan, Shakespeare in Love, and The Truman Show, all of which lost to There's Something About Mary. And finally, what we're all here for, and I think undoubtedly the best possible note to close on, Julio, best song from a movie. The nominees were Jay-Z, Can I Get A from Rush Hour, Green Day, Nice Guys Finish Last from Varsity Blues, Goo Goo Dolls' Iris from City of Angels, with that song that's a fantastic song. Aaliyah with Are You That Somebody from Dr. Dolittle, and of course Aerosmith, Liv Tyler's daddy Steven Tyler at the helm for I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Armageddon. I said this, I believe, in the kind of teaser for us doing this episode, Julio, and I mean this genuinely with all my heart. and True Belief, the one enduring piece of pop culture from Armageddon is the Aerosmith song. Because I know for a fact there is now a complete generation of people that know that song but don't know it's from Armageddon. You know what I mean?
It's the Bodyguard all over again.
Exactly. I would hate to think there's something as memorable as I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, but it's true. I was thinking about this song, and like I Will Always Love You, it's been used for comedic effect just because of what it is. I mentioned Blades of Glory in Contrarian's Corner, and I don't know if have you seen Blades of Glory?
I haven't. This is one of those that I've always wanted to, and it keeps getting brought up, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's very, very funny. It's a bit underrated, honestly, but like there's this big punchline that when John Heder and Will Ferrell start doing couples synchronized figure skating together, the crescendo of it is they do a routine to I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, and that's kind of like the joke. And so God, I'm looking at the single cover for it right now, and at the top it has the Aerosmith logo, with like the wings, and then at the bottom it says from the original motion picture, and then it has the Armageddon logo. And the cover of the single album is a flaming planet. God.
The second nominated song this evening is from the film Armageddon. Someone heard that my father had this band called Aerosmith, and so they asked them to sing it in the film. And now they're at the Oscars. Here to sing I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Diane Warren. Ladies and gentlemen, Aerosmith.
It started with the credits as we see the stills from Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler's wedding. The song starts playing, and my wife was in the kitchen and she started singing along.
God bless.
It's part of but see, like she wouldn't sing along to not that I gave her the chance, but to I Will Always Love You. She probably knows the song, but you're talking about, even though we're still talking about the 90s, it's two different generations. Well, yeah, I guess it's because the Bodyguard was aimed at an older audience to begin with.
I sent Julio the music video for said song. I was like, dude, you have to watch this before we record. I remember before we had DVD extras, very certain VHSs, you knew it was a big deal when the stay tuned after the credits for, additional footage.
Yeah.
And the Armageddon VHS after the credits had the music video for this. And for those who haven't seen it, I cannot recommend checking it out enough, because what they do is they make it seem as though Aerosmith is performing this song at the launch site of the spacecraft that's going to send the ragtag team of drillers into outer space. But also they splice in these clips from the movie that make it look like people are reacting to the Aerosmith performance. The most incredible of which being Billy Bob Thornton putting his head against the glass and slowly closing his eyes.
As Steven Tyler sings, "Don't Want to Close My Eyes." It's amazing, the timing, because it happens all throughout the video. Like there's a lot of close-ups of people closing their eyes.
And yes, and not to be outdone, the end of the video, they Photoshop or put over Steven Tyler singing the end of the song to the scene where Liv Tyler's watching Bruce Willis say goodbye, and so she's like putting her hand on the screen when Steven Tyler's face is fading away. It's unbelievable.
It's a real dad.
Daddy, no.
Well, they do that trick all throughout the video too, where they put him on all the monitors. So at times it's like all the people from NASA are watching him perform on those monitors, and then people from around the world are watching their TVs and he's performing there. It's amazing.
It sounds so preposterous if you haven't seen it, or if you're one of our younger friends or listeners and you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? You're right, but also I'm sad that you missed out on this time frame. It's even more ludicrous than fucking Billy Corgan flying through Gotham. Like it's oh man, it's so good. It's exactly right. All the people at their computers that are trying to help save the planet are watching Joe Perry just shred on the guitar, man.
I told you because when I was editing the Bodyguard episode, I had to pull up the music video for "I Will Always Love You," and that one is not like this. Like these are the fun ones. I mean, the "I Will Always Love You" video is fun because it's just funny, but it's a lot more standard. It's just Whitney Houston is on a set and she's singing and she's great, and then throughout the song they just cut in scenes from the movie. Mostly it's just Kevin Costner running, because I guess that was the closest they could come to having it make sense, putting the footage of the movie with the song that's about "I Will Always Love You." So it sounds like "I will always love the way you run," apparently. It's just Kevin Costner sprinting from one place to the other, jumping in the water, jumping across the snow. It was pretty funny. And it's, that type of video, while it's fun, I think it's a little harder to use it to make the case of, no, this used to be awesome. But you take the one from Armageddon, or, as we've referenced a few episodes ago, the music videos for the Batman Forever songs, like both of them, the "Kiss from a Rose" and "Hold Me, Kiss Me, Thrill Me, Kill Me." I mean, they were done with such care to envelop you in the world of the movie that it really is a shame. I don't know, we've said it plenty of times on the show before, but right now that we're in this 90s run, it feels like it needs to be said even more loudly. It's a shame that we don't have them, that they don't do them anymore.
Keep in mind that's Julio saying that, not just me with my typical everything sucks, it used to be better. And he's exactly right. It's not like they were all fucking winners, but there's this tie-in thing that we kind of lost. That's a bit of a bummer. But the good news is, the silver lining of that is the internet exists now, so we can pull these things up and discuss them at detail, and then upload the audio for other people to listen to, so they'll learn about it.
Wow, you can win awards for blowing stuff up. 10 years ago, MTV launched my career directing a Donny Osmond video. Who would have figured?
But anyway, Julio, it comes down to this. C- for me. This might be like a 2-star affair on the old letterbox.
I am right there with you. I'm thinking 2 stars as well. We didn't really touch on it because there's not a whole lot to touch on. But with Independence Day, we spent a lot of time talking about just what it's like to watch that movie that's very rah-rah America in today's world, in today's America.
Which this one also is, yeah.
It also is, but it didn't really, I guess, because there's nothing to think about. And
Fair.
I was noticing, I was like, my God, the American flags are everywhere in this movie. When Bruce Willis is asking for time off for his boys, and he's like, they need a break. He's making his request, like the shot is, the American flag is behind him, and the shot is like from below, so it's just very imposing. It's like, I get it. But this is something where I think that Independence Day is more over the top about its patriotism, its devotion to America, but it's also kind of fun in the way that it does it. And this one, it just feels more leaden in the way that it's just not fun. But yeah, 2 stars for me, C- for Alex. Sorry, Paul from the Countdown, not Paul from Filmbusters. How do you guys feel about Armageddon? Just let us know. Just like you let us know about Batman Forever, Alex. I guess we should have seen this coming. After the introduction we gave Batman Forever about how people have opinions, and we naively said, oh, that's the movie that everybody agrees is good, and you're not going to get into any sort of argument about it. Well, it turns out that at least 2 of our patrons feel very strongly about Batman Forever not being a great movie. A good friend, Stu from the Stu War Order, and our Friday the 13th remake and Romeo and Michelle High School Reunion episodes, he said, I haven't gotten into real talk yet, but if you 2 actually like Batman Forever, I will drive my car into a ditch.
Oh, no.
And then he followed up, I guess he finished real talk. He saw that we were serious, and he goes, Batman Forever only even mildly works if you think of it as a movie that exists within the Tim Burton Batman verse. Like the citizens of Tim Burton's Gotham went to the movies to see Batman Forever.
Yes, and?
I mean, that's an interesting read, but and then our friend John Amenta from The Pint and our Star Trek episode, he said, stop by to find out how much the state of Joel Schumacher paid you guys to be nice to Batman Forever. Our friend Ryan from a lot of interesting movies that he's been with. Well, he also did Star Trek Original Picture episode. He was here with Rachel. He said, release Joel's cut and posted a picture that is in the trailer. I don't know if we called it out, but also I've seen it everywhere else. It's Val Kilmer face to face with a giant bat. Like, that's not in the movie, but that's part of the Schumacher cut. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, where like the bat's spreading its wings and Kilmer's spreading his arms, and they look like they're about to kiss. It's an interesting visual. And then the great Chas Fisher, Alex, from the Kill Bill episode.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. And then the great Chas Fisher from the Kill Bill episodes, the Terminator extravaganza, and so on. He said, that's how I experienced them in cinemas. Schumacher's as sequels to Burton's, growth of the character. He was responding to me saying, hey, you should watch the video that we did with Corey, because Corey's reading is that they're all in the same universe. And apparently Chas agrees with that too. I guess people just like Batman Forever, or at the very least like talking about Batman Forever, Alex. I put up a GIF of Batman and Robin where Batman pulls out the Bat credit card. And I said, looking at this GIF has made me want to rewatch Batman and Robin. Then Stu doubled down and said, it's better than Forever.
Fuck off. Respectfully.
Anyway, that concludes this round of feedback from listeners, with Alex telling one of them to fuck off.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, of course. All right, coming up next, Alex, we continue. July. Will it be another space adventure after doing Independence Day and Armageddon? Of course not. Do you know what's coming up next?
I don't. I'm like I said, you're taking the wheel with this one. I'm just in the passenger seat with my seatbelt off.
Well, you kind of took the wheel with this one. This is an Alex Mattis pick. This was one of your draft picks. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I don't even know what it's about.
Oh, let's go. Yes.
Horror, right?
Thriller, I think, would be a better way of describing it.
I don't know anything about it. Going back or blind.
No, I'm sorry. Google describes it as a horror/mystery.
Well, there you go. I know the title. That's all I know. It is 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, 1992. Fresh. So we'll be picking it apart. That's coming up next. And then on the Patreon channel, the bonus for this month is the movie Wendy and Lucy. We're going back to Jordan Mance's top 100 movie list. What is Wendy and Lucy? I don't even know. It's there, Alex. We'll figure it out. For QVRs, you are doing the movie Ghost Dog, and I am doing the movie Hustle. Mine is an Adam Sandler movie, and yours is a samurai movie, I think. Not Les Samurai, but a samurai movie. Those are individual quick video reviews. And then for After Hours, I just realized I didn't ask you, Alex. So I'm going to ask you right here on air. This is something you brought up when we were doing our draft. Would you be cool with doing Single White Female, which is another MTV Movie Awards nominee, maybe even winner?
Yeah, absolutely. I know we talked about that previously.
Yeah, that was one of those movies you're like, I don't know if I want to do it on the main feed, but we should talk about it. So that's on our Patreon channel, patreon.com/Contrarian Prime. Check that out. And now, Alex, let's get out of here.
Take care of my daughter.
Dad!
Daddy, no. Welcome to our end credits.
Or as we usually call them, our perennial plugs.
We start off by giving thanks to the Festive Years who provide our opening and closing tracks. They kick us off with Last Stand and take us home with Summer of 99. Be sure to head over to thefestiveyears.com for any and all Festive Years needs.
Our friend and fellow podcaster Hans Rothgieser is the man behind our logo and all the art you see related to our show. Reach out to him and let him know how much you like that little tomato. His email address is mildemonios@hotmail.com and his website is mildemonios.pe. That's MILDEMONIOS. Hans, thank you for all your support.
For those interested in the regularly absurd world of professional wrestling, Joe and the boys over at latenightgrin.com have you covered. Tell them the Contrarians sent you.
And we like to close with special thanks to our social media team of Zoe Perez and Coriari. Each of the social media accounts we mentioned in the introduction look as good as they do because of their work.
So that'll do it for this episode of The Contrarians, where we're right and you're wrong, and we will catch you next time.
Just for old time's sake, I really don't care who you're seeing or how much money you make together.